He watched as Spider-Man struggled, his body weakening. "I didn't want this," Batman whispered, feeling the weight of his choices pressing down on him. With one final breath, Spider-Man looked up at Batman, his eyes filled with anguish and disbelief. "I just wanted to go home," he murmured before succumbing to darkness. As Peter's lifeless body lay on the cold ground, Batman stood over him, a mix of triumph and sorrow coursing through his veins. In the heart of a desolate industrial district, a storm brewed overhead, casting an ominous shadow over the abandoned warehouse where fate would soon unfold. Two legendary heroes, unaware of each other's identities, were about to clash in a battle that would test their limits. Iron Man had received troubling news that Batman had recently defeated Spider-Man. The Avengers gathered, discussing the implications of Batman's unyielding prowess. "We can't let this go unanswered," Iron Man declared, his voice resolute. "I'm going to take him down." Meanwhile, Batman was on high alert, having heard whispers of a formidable armored hero hunting him down. He stood cloaked in darkness, his mind focused. "I've faced and beaten Spider-Man," he thought. "This won't be any different." As Iron Man entered the warehouse, he activated his suit's scanning systems. "Batman! Show yourself," he called, his voice echoing through the empty space. From the shadows, Batman stepped forward, his presence commanding. "You must be Iron Man," he said, his voice cool and steady. "I've heard about your exploits." "I know what you did to Spider-Man," Iron Man replied, his tone fierce. "And now it's time to pay for that." Batman's eyes narrowed. "Spider-Man lost because he underestimated me. Don't make the same mistake." With that, the battle began. Iron Man fired a repulsor blast, but Batman deftly evaded, closing the gap and striking Iron Man's side with a flurry of punches. The armored hero staggered but quickly retaliated with a series of blasts that Batman narrowly dodged. "You're strong, but I've faced tougher foes," Batman taunted, landing a solid kick against Iron Man's chest. The impact knocked Iron Man back, but he pushed through, determined to fight. The warehouse erupted with the sounds of clashing metal and strained grunts. Iron Man unleashed his arsenal, firing missiles and energy beams, but Batman was relentless, his agility allowing him to dodge and counter with precision. Batman leaped into the air, performing acrobatic flips and delivering vicious strikes that sent Iron Man crashing into the walls. "You can't keep this up," Batman growled, landing another brutal punch. Iron Man winced, the pain coursing through his body. "Watch me," Iron Man gasped, struggling to regain his footing. He launched himself into the air again, but Batman anticipated the move, activating his EMP device, which sent a pulse that disrupted Iron Man's systems. The armored hero's thrusters faltered, and he plummeted to the ground with a heavy thud. Breathing heavily, Iron Man tried to rise, but Batman was already on him, delivering a relentless barrage of strikes. Each blow felt like a hammer against Iron Man's armor, pushing him closer to the edge of defeat. "You're strong, Stark, but this is where it ends," Batman declared, readying for the final blow. Just when Batman thought victory was assured, a familiar voice broke through the chaos. "Tony, I've detected new upgrades available for your suit. Would you like to install them now?" JRVS chimed in, cutting through the tension like a knife. Iron Man's eyes widened as he realized the opportunity. "Yes. Install the upgrades," he shouted, determination surging through him. In an instant, the suit began to pulse with energy, glowing as new enhancements activated. With a newfound power coursing through him, Iron Man propelled himself off the ground, launching a barrage of repulsor blasts that caught Batman off guard. "What?" Batman exclaimed, barely managing to evade one of the blasts, but the next struck him squarely in the chest, sending him crashing into a pile of debris. Iron Man seized the moment, charging forward with renewed vigor. "You thought you had me, didn't you?" he taunted, his confidence surging. "But you underestimated this suit." Batman struggled to rise, but Iron Man was relentless now. He unleashed a flurry of punches, each one landing with devastating force. The tide had turned, and Iron Man pressed the advantage, throwing Batman against the wall with a final, powerful strike. As the dust settled, Batman lay on the ground, gasping for breath, his cape torn and battered. Iron Man stood over him, panting but triumphant. "You fought well, but this is the end," he said, his voice steady despite the chaos that surrounded him. With that, Iron Man powered down his repulsors and made his way back to the Avengers headquarters, adrenaline still coursing through his veins. As he entered, his teammates gathered around him, eyes wide with anticipation. "You did it, Tony!" Steve Rogers exclaimed, clapping Iron Man on the back. "You took down Batman." "Of course I did," Iron Man replied with a smirk, reveling in the glory of his victory. He was tough, but not tough enough. The room erupted in cheers, and Iron Man basked in the moment. "Who knew a guy dressed like a bat could be so easy to take down?" he joked, eliciting laughter from his teammates. As they celebrated, Iron Man felt a pang of concern for Batman, who lay defeated in the warehouse. But he pushed the thought away, savoring the sweet taste of victory, knowing that he had avenged Spider-Man and proved himself as a formidable hero in his own right.